I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eye on the streets, and we do our best to bring you trending stories that shape the world that you and I live in. We begin today with the National Youth Service Corps, where in a ruling that could redefine personal freedoms within national service. The Federal High Court in Abuja has declared the National Youth Service Corps refusal to allow female corps members wear skirts on religious grounds unconstitutional. Now, in a landmark judgment, Justice Hawa Yilwa sided with two former corps members, Ogunjobi Blessing and Ayuba Vivian, who argued that being forced to wear trousers violated their Christian faith. According to the court, compelling anyone to go against their sincerely held religious beliefs, especially under a national program, is a clear breach of constitutional rights. The women who were denied opportunity to complete the NYSC scheme for refusing to wear trousers have now been vindicated, and the court not only declared the NYSC uniform policy discriminatory, but also ordered the agency to recall the two women and issue them their service certificates. But as the NYSC grapples with deeper issues, from unpaid allowances and poor postings to complaints of neglect, a lot of people are asking, in the grand scheme of national service reform, is this the change that truly matters? If you ask me, I think the NYSC should strive for uniformity beyond clothing. There are many more reforms that require urgent attention, so we have to prioritize the right reforms. Let's take a look at social media. Isaiah Bukumi says, "We say no to skirts for anyone that wants to serve as NYSC. If you can't follow the rules, kindly stay in your parents' house and apply for NYSC. Exemption letter, you'll be issued by NYSC certificates after a year without any remuneration. NYSC is not mandatory. Hashtag say no to NYSC skirts." Take one more tweet. Charlie Bobo says, "The way Nigerians take religious matters so serious, if they channel that energy of the country into the country's economy and growth, we'll definitely be the best country in the world." Moving on, still on Nigerian youth, students of Sokoto State University have expressed deep appreciation for the intervention of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, describing it as a timely lifeline in the face of rising financial pressure. Their gratitude comes in response to the disbursement of student loans and upkeep allowances, which is part of the federal government's drive to make higher education more accessible. Now, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, the loan scheme has emerged as one of the most impactful education policies so far. In videos circulating online, students were seen in a jubilant mood, chanting NELFund power. Take a look at these students in Sokoto State University. Now, as you can see, these young men, these young students are celebrating. And it's very timely to see that regardless of the critique, a lot of times of the Nigerian federal government, that change is really for the people. Now, these videos were shared by presidential aide Bayo Ononuga via his official X account. And these videos highlight the real-world impact of a policy aimed at easing the financial burden on Nigerian students. And for many of these students, it's more than just financial assistance. It's a renewed sense of possibility and indeed hope. And perhaps a sign that when governance prioritizes people, the response is loud and clear. This is very interesting. The first mandate of government policy should be to meet the needs of the people, and indeed education is a vital need, or at least should be a vital right. Let's take a look at social media. I'll take three of you guys' social media reactions. Niger Dentist says, "For years, many intelligent Nigerian students have been pushed out of school, not for lack of merit, but because they couldn't afford tuition. NELFund is trying to change that, not just as a loan platform, but as a step towards fairness and inclusion in education. If managed with integrity, NELFund could become a defining achievement of this administration. This is how democracy delivers, through targeted, inclusive initiatives that meet real needs, not through empty slogans or flashy headlines." Aderoju Sola says, "President Tinubu's changes are genuinely getting to the masses." I mean, you can't fake that reaction. And Solon says, every kid's dreams can easily come true now. It took me 8 years after my senior school certificate examination to apply and gain admission. A lot of kids out here still don't know about this. Some kids don't have the information yet. A lot of work needs to be done. I may not always agree with this government, but this is included in the criticism. Good to hear. Moving on into the world of social media, a young man's release from prison is stirring hearts and raising tough questions across Nigeria. A man called Emeka Nzeruke, now 22 years old, is finally free after spending 10 long years behind bars without trial or legal representation. Arrested at just 12 years old in 2015 over theft allegations, Emeka was thrown into prison and tragically forgotten by the system. No lawyer, no hearing, and no justice. Unexpectedly, hope came during a routine prison outreach where a lawyer who works on social media pro bono, identified only as Alex, discovered his case and immediate legal steps were taken, and Emeka finally walked out of court, free and with a future that had once been stolen from him. His story is now making a lot of waves on social media, not just for all the injustice that he endured, but as a reminder of what timely legal aid can do. And it begs a larger question: how many more Emekas are still locked away, silent victims of a system that moves too slowly or not at all? Emeka's freedom is indeed a victory, but also a wake-up call. This is very, very interesting. I don't think that this is a personal victory, but I think it's more of a national indictment. This boy spent over a decade in prison, not because he was guilty, but because no one bothered to ask if he was actually guilty. Let's take a look at social media. The Duke of Africa says, Nigeria is filled with evil people. A religious person is the judge, the police, the prison warden, and so many more. But guess what? None of them cared. Dipo Adedipe says, there are too many kids like him in prison custody whose ages have been falsified on the charge sheets by the police, as requested by the nominal complainant in most cases, to cajole or leave the sitting magistrate or judge with no choice. Mind you, the charges will be such that we'll be awaiting the DPP's advice from the Ministry of Justice, which could be awaited forever if the defendant's family or guardian are not legally aware or inclined to have the means of fast-tracking the DPP's advice. Oof. And finally, Uncle Dele says, thanks a million for standing up for the young man, but he can never buy back his teenage years. Please file another strong lawsuit against the state. A billionaire lawsuit, no grill. Find a strong team of lawyers to champion this case. This is very interesting. Team, what do we make of this? A young boy, a decade of his life. There are many people who are languishing in prison as we speak. I know a TVC News anchor, Lamdi Adeyemi, is now doing a prison series where she goes and visits people who were neglected by the justice system for years. But what do you make of this? Is there any respite for this young man?
Yes, he's one of the lucky ones, and I want to thank Barrister Alex a whole lot. I really didn't know that we have Nigerian lawyers that do pro bono work, you know, and for Barrister Alex to do that, and not only do that, find Emeka and take steps to free him. God bless you, sir. You will be a success in whatever you do. Emeka was thrown into prison at 12. That's adolescence years. That's the most important time for kids to be with their parents or to have some kind of guidance. And he spent it in prison. So either of two things must have happened to him. It's either he's radicalized or he's going through a lot of depression. So that young man needs psychological help right now. Thanks again to Barrister Alex. NEL Fund is one of this administration's policies that I love. Those children were not just dancing because the cash came. It is the relief that, so I will graduate. But I also want to remind them that it's a loan. It's a loan. And the NYSC judgment, I am not too in support of it because Nigeria is a secular state. NYSC is a program put together by the secular state. It's just like a mini military, you know. Will these girls say the same thing if they were in the army? Some people might not agree with me, but I think that the NYSC has its policy. There are reasons for it to be established, and the rules of the NYSC should have been taken more seriously.
All right, let me begin with Nelfund. Nelfund, obviously, from what we are seeing, is a hit, and the students are dancing to the tune. That's what happened. And I hope that they don't use the monies they get for partying and all of that, even though some of the monies you cannot get it personally, but there are some funds that I hear that are given to the students as for their welfare, and so they should use the monies judiciously and remember that they will be paying back as at when due. So kudos to the government at ensuring that they help students stay in school. And for NYSC, I think NYSC has to reflect the divergent religious positions of the country. I know that Nigeria is a secular state. I know that there is a reason and the trainings are rigorous, and that's the reason why they ask ladies, both guys and men, to wear trousers. But there are those who cannot because they believe that this is against their religion. So I think that we need to represent our diversity and ensure inclusivity at the end of the day, from my perspective. And talking about the guy that was rescued from prison. At age 12, he was in prison. I'm thinking he's a minor. Should he be thrown in prison in the first place? That's not where he's supposed to be. I think we need to do investigations as to the reason why he was thrown into prison at 12. He was said to have stolen. Did he require being locked up for 10 good years without justice? Who were those that handled his case? We need to start digging deep to how he got to prison in the first place and who threw him there and threw the keys away. Thank God the keys were found and he's now being released. When I saw the picture yesterday, I was saddened by his state of health. Psychologically, he needs to be examined, and I hope that he gets true justice at the end of the day.
Indeed. NYSC, this is not the first time we're hearing this kind of debate over skirts and trousers. I'm thinking at this juncture, NYSC, you need to go back either to the Senate or the House of Reps or the government in charge of that agency and sit down, look at your rules and regulations and principles that guides you again. Is there a need for a reworking of it to have, like my colleague called it, inclusivity? Do we need to bring that in so that you don't go on in this line of debating trousers or skirts? I mean, we're old enough to have that kind of sacrosanct rule. If you want to go trousers, go back again and let it be sacrosanct. If you want to go skirts as well, let's go back so that we don't have to come to the courts to infringe on what you assume is your own rules, right? Now, to Nelfund, I'm hoping that, we will not misunderstand this. The Nelfund MD has been on this table quite a number of times. In fact, the last time he was here, I asked him specifically on the modus operandi that guides this fund, and he told us, about it. And so this is a good thing we're seeing. That agency is doing a lot for Nigerian students. We can only pray for more grace for them to do more, and for many students across the country to cash into what is going on right now. It's for you. Go get it. For this, our brother, who, it's really sad. Really, it's sad that a 12-year-old boy will be thrown into prison and forgotten. How on earth did a judge sit down over that matter, if at all it was even at that point, or even a police officer sit down on that and with his two eyes throw a 12-year-old boy into the prison and nothing was said about him? My request is this, please, to as many persons as possible. That young man needs our support to bring him back into normalcy, because right now he isn't. His mind is somewhere else. His health is someplace else. We need to help and bring him back to become a human being so he can fulfill his destiny on earth.
Absolutely. Right now on social media, there is a crowdfunding campaign taking place. Some people are donating. Anyway, coming up, I've got some good news for you guys.